Hey, this is Vince Morales. You're watching the Marcus Deegan Show.
The Marcus Deegan Show. What's the story, guys? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Deegan, shooting from Sin City, Las Vegas, Nevada, the place of bright lights and world title fights. Welcome to another episode of the pod. Got another badass in the building today. I spoke to this guy a couple of times before. I've trained with him. Last time I saw him, his face wasn't as fucked up as it is now, so I don't know if he's been getting beat up or what the heck's going on, but we're going to find out. Would you welcome to the podcast from the past, my good mate, Vince Morales. What's up, brother?
What's up, bro? It's good to see you, Marcus.
Good to see you too, man. When was the last time I saw you?
Oh, man, I can't even think about it. It's been a while, isn't
It's
it?
been a little while.
Yeah, last time I was on the show.
Jeez.
Was that what it was when I came with Chino? Is that the last time?
You've been a couple times. Have you been a couple times on the show?
I think twice.
And I think I did one interview with you via Zoom back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. You still train every day?
Oh, every day, a couple times a day. I've already done 2 today. I was supposed to do another one, but that one got canceled, thankfully.
You know, Alexander Volkanovski and Conor McGregor recently said that when they're stagnant and when they're not training, it does something to them mentally. Can you attest to that? And what is it that happens to them when you're not training, when you're not active?
Yeah, I can relate to that. I'm not too sure what everybody else has, but for me, I'm just a little more on edge. I'm a little more irritable with like everyday things like traffic I don't do as good in, like all that stuff. I get a little bit of therapy, just a little bit of release from training, and I'm much more me.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah. You know, you've been a successful athlete now and you performed in the UFC for many years. Getting released from the UFC at the beginning of the year, how did that affect you mentally, personally, and financially? Like, did that really fucking get to you, bro?
Dude, you hit the nail on the head. It affects all those. It's the works, really. But we're not fighters if we're not dealing with obstacles and trying to overcome it, right? So I take my fighter mindset and apply it to that in terms of life. Like it is what it is. I realized, funny enough, I've become a much better fighter, much more complete fighter since that happened.
Really?
I think just being in the UFC, we get this little. Some of us, I think, I was one of them.
I know what you're gonna say.
I got in there fairly early. It's something kind of. I wanted to make less mistakes. Does that make sense? So I was in there trying to do everything perfect and trying to be right.
Because it's the pinnacle organization.
The pinnacle. Yeah, there's a famous saying goes around like one mistake. All they did was make one mistake.
Yeah.
So I spent a lot of time not trying to make a mistake, and it took away from who I am and as a fighter, really. And getting released, it's a little bit of a weight off the shoulder because every fight, you know,
pressure.
You got to treat it like you're going to get released after that fight. So sometimes the pressure can affect us in funny ways, and I've always been a fan of the pressure because I think I can rise to it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for some of my fights, I didn't. I lost a couple close ones, lost a couple bad ones, had a couple great ones. It was a lot of learning experience, and since being released, I think I'm just that much better of a fighter now, and I can't wait.
I mean, like for people that suffer with getting over things that they've lost, that's a really good way of looking at it, Vince, is that you became a better fighter since being released from the UFC. That's kind of like something that people would never even expect somebody to say. But so there was a silver lining in that misery and pain.
100%. Well, at least now there is. Like
now there is. And so what was the process like? How did you transition from being a UFC star to all of a sudden now not being with this organization? Does it make you feel less?
Makes you feel a little less. But so be it. It's the nature of the beast. As with anything, I'd say. It's funnily enough, I got the call from my manager, Jason House, that I was getting released while I was about to start a workout at the PI. And I sat there for a second. I was like, yeah, I'm going to get the hell out of here. So I took off and went home and just had a little talk with my fiance, Shino. And so be it. And it is what it is. It didn't change. It didn't really change my day to day.
Right.
Because
you're still training.
I still train.
Yep.
I still focus on getting better every single time. And yeah, that's one thing. I failed in that, but if I can turn that failure into some sort of success, whether that means getting back there or going to a different promotion and making PFL $1 million or something, for example, there's opportunities everywhere, and it's my job to go out there and capitalize on them.
So, like you see a lot of people that are transitioning from one sport to another, like boxing to MMA to boxing, whatnot, YouTube stars, all this and that, you know, going over to different organizations. We've just seen Francis Ngannou, you know, make the biggest payday of his life by going over to boxing in a different organization. I suppose being a free agent now, you have the opportunity to kind of like put yourself in these different places where you want. Do you have the opportunity to make more money now?
Yes and no. Depends on the opportunities I can put myself in front of. Yeah. Right. So like a big goal of mine this year, as soon as I got released, like I said, it didn't change my day to day, and my goal was still get fights, win fights, just added another one to get back to the UFC. I was aiming that for this year. Unfortunately, I didn't think it was going to be so hard to get fights.
Yeah. Oh, really?
UFC vet attached to a name doesn't do well on the regional scene. As
Is
far
that
as people
right?
Saying yes.
Why? Because they want fresh faces, or
No, I think they want. I have UFC in my name. They know I'm an experienced fighter. I was good. I made it to that level at one point. So I think before I had my first fight, which was May this year, post UFC. I think I got 8 no's. I had this many offers, and I said yes, 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 over and over. And I was like, man, I'm never going to get a fight. And then finally, I fought Ishihara, who was another UFC veteran. So thankfully, that kind of got the ball rolling a little bit.
You're a tremendous boxer, and I remember watching you back in the day. I believe boxing is one of your real good strengths. You're a great boxer. Have you ever thought about crossing over to boxing?
100%. I almost went into boxing before MMA. So I went MMA, did a couple amateur fights, did like 8 or 9 amateur boxing bouts, and I was like, ooh, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And then I missed slamming people and came back to MMA. And if I don't even want to say the right fight, if the right opportunity presented itself for boxing, I would gladly go do that.
So let's talk about the opportunity that you got coming up soon. You're about to travel overseas, and you're going to be eating a lot of white rice.
Yeah. Again, my fiance is Japanese. I eat a lot of white rice now. But,
so let's talk about that.
yeah.
You're going over to the resin promotion.
Yeah.
Which is, I believe, even Floyd Mayweather fought on the resin promotion one time with that.
Twice he's fought on there, I think. Maybe that one wasn't risen. I know he fought Tenshin, and then he fought
Tanaki or was it?
Asakura.
Yeah, something.
Asakura, who's brothers of the training partner that I'm going there to train with.
Well, small world, this bloody mixed martial arts world, isn't it? So you go over to Japan, and you're going to go and do your whole training camp over there?
Yeah, basically. Well, I've been in camp all year.
Yeah.
I haven't taken any breaks.
Which all you guys say? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
As we should. I think we're doing ourselves a disservice if we're only training in camp.
Yeah.
That's a limited time for growth. Anyways, November 15th, so a couple weeks, I take off over to Japan. We're staying right in the heart of Tokyo. I'll be there for 6 weeks. At the end of it, I don't have an opponent yet because I got an offer, but he's got to win his fight November 11th.
Right.
So I don't want to say names or anything, so we'll see.
But
But
big name?
Over in Japan.
Over
yes.
in Japan, yeah.
Over in
Well,
Japan,
that's it. Only needs to be over in Japan. Nice.
Yeah.
So, when you go over there, and do you have you don't take your team over there, do you? You have a team there?
This time I'm lucky enough that my wrestling coach got hired as the wrestling coach for Kai Asakura, who's also fighting on that Risen card. He's fighting Juan Archuleta for the title over there.
Nice. What's the difference with these Japanese fighters compared to these American fighters? Is there any difference? Like fighting in the homeland, like you said earlier on, does that make a difference with these guys?
I don't think so.
No.
I think the main difference when I see the fights, aside from the crowd's a little different. But
right, you were saying that it's a capacity, that venue that you're going to be performing in is a 40,000+ seater venue, which is like rock star fucking status.
Yeah, the Super Saitama Arena. I'm stoked. I can't believe I get to go over there and fight. It's the motherland really, where martial arts and everything started. So
yeah, you might run into Steven Seagal.
Yeah, right. Maybe you can give him some tips.
He's got a dojo over there, doesn't he?
Does he?
Well, he said he did. I don't know if it's true.
Go figure.
So since not being in the UFC, what are you doing now to like supplement your income? Are you working, or what do you got going on in that sense?
Thankfully, I was decent enough with my money that
So you stacked it away?
just a little bit. I still have to do other things. Right now, I do a lot of personal training for people here in Vegas.
Right. For fighting?
For not just fighting, like some fighters, yes, if they want to fight, great. Then I'm helping out with some of their camps and stuff. But just everyday people want to learn about self-defense or martial arts, jiu-jitsu, the works.
Is there more of that these days?
Seems like it. There's quite a bit. Yeah.
Has it increased? Like has people wanting to learn martial arts increased?
That's a good question. It really seems like it. Yeah, just from when I was growing up anyways, definitely it's increased. Where I'm from, nobody wants to learn. Now, there's actually a gym. My hometown's only like 10,000 people back in Oregon. Right across the bridge there's finally an MMA gym over there, and that's unheard of for the area from when I was growing up.
Because that's why you had to move out here, right? Because there was no real good...
Well, I was going over I'm from Ontario, Oregon, and I was training in Boise, Idaho with Tony Fricklin back in the day. And then, we just decided to move everything over here. It's the fight capital of the world, the best place to really do the business.
Yeah. Did you see the fight on the weekend with Francis and Tyson?
Of course.
And what was your thoughts on that?
I thought Francis won, dude.
That's what everybody said.
Yeah, but I also, I get that the image was a lot of people didn't expect much from Francis. I think it was 14-1 underdog or something that.
Yeah.
And he did way better than that, right? So sometimes when people do way better than the expectations, it can sway the biased opinions and how the fight's actually going, right? So
Right.
I haven't had a chance to go back and rewatch it. At the moment when I was watching it, with the knockdown, and I thought he was just outworking him in the rounds and landing the stuff. I think he stifled kind of everything that Tyson Fury was really looking to get going.
Tyson didn't have anything for him, and his punches weren't affecting him either.
No, nothing.
Francis was just eating those punches.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was great to see. I think it was good for MMA.
Boxing.
Yeah, MMA and boxing. Finally, we get like an MMA guy who can go over there and like hold his own. I feel like we haven't had that yet.
Well, because you've had all these crossovers, people like Nate Diaz and Ben Askren and Tyron Woodley that have gone over to the boxing and have been KO'd stiff in the first, in pretty much the first round. So I was pretty happy with it as well. And obviously Eric Nixick and Dewey Cooper and all those boys did a great job with. But I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen what a 6'10" man looks like in real life. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever stood next to someone that's 6'10". It's a sight to see. Now, this is Tyson Fury. Francis is about 6'4", 6'5", maybe.
I think it was 6'4", if I remember right.
Just a strapping man. He's probably got a big Corey on him and everything, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, fuck, can you imagine? I've thought about it a couple of times. Like, a man that big's got to have a huge Corey on him, I tell you
that's
that.
hilarious.
So tell me about your app. You've got this app that's come out, and how can people get it? How can they find it? And what's it all about?
Yeah, so I started this app. It's called React Workouts.
Yep.
You can get it on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. It's available on both.
Yep.
Essentially, what it is, it's a shadow boxing or a bag work app. It'll give you some reaction commands to kind of spice up your shadow boxing or your bag work rounds.
So it's like a home coach right there from home.
A little bit, and you can customize it for which commands you want in it.
And this is all your voice?
Yeah, it's all my voice right now. I think I'm going to change it.
Really?
Well, because I use it and I don't like listening to myself. So
Maybe you should have like a feature on there where it can be like your voice or your girl's voice, or
Yeah, right.
maybe you get an Australian and all right, now make sure that you can get me in to do one for you.
that'd
if you
be
want.
great,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I'd be more than happy to do that for you. So have you got many subscribers to it yet?
Yeah, I think it's been out for a few months now. I'm at like 150 downloads. I'll have to check the subscribers. But,
That's awesome. That's great work.
It's
For
still
someone
getting started. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you promote that?
I do it all myself with Instagram and TikTok, really. I made a couple flyers that I stuck around some of the gyms and stuff. Yeah, I'm actually looking for some more ways to kind of get it out there. I'm hoping some stuff that can kind of come from this from the fight. I got my React Workouts logo going to be on the shorts and everything. So
Nice.
just get a little more exposure out there. And I think it's a great tool. And on the premium subscription, people can actually record their own commands and make their own stuff on it.
Right.
So, yeah, so it doesn't always have to be my voice.
So, I mean, that's the thing, guys. Like, a lot of people that, like, don't really have any experience in boxing or any kind of martial arts or training or whatever, I think one of the biggest obstacles and hurdles is actually getting up and going into the gym and not feeling the shame and embarrassment of not knowing what you're doing. Apps like this can change that because you can do it in the comfort of your own home. You can do it with someone that knows what they're talking about, you, a former UFC athlete and great fighter and trainer. So maybe it's something that you should look into. Have it in the privacy of your own home before you go into a big gym. That's kind of what it's like, right?
Yeah, 100%. And like, well, I came up with the idea during like COVID times and people needed like something to do at the house. So that was kind of this was part of the solution for that.
And you're even jumping into my world. You've got a great podcast that's going at the moment with your cousin, Ricky Simone.
Yep.
Tell us about that.
That's been great. We record kind of whenever we want because we kind of do it just over online with each other.
Yeah.
So whenever works, whenever we got something coming up, it's awesome to be able to promote fights and talk about like our feelings going into the fight or our post, whether that be win or loss, because we've had both while we've been doing the podcast. And just be able to like kind of shed some insight on what really goes through like a fighter's mind and heart before and after fights.
And how do people find that podcast, Vince?
That one's on YouTube.
Yep.
Just Cuz Podcast. And you can also find it. I just got it on Spotify. It's on Amazon Music. It's on Audible. So you can find it in all the places now. It's on iTunes.
Nice. The good thing about Spotify now is it's visual as well as audio, so you can see it in 4K quality, which is always good. That's only new. That didn't when I first started doing podcasts. You can only listen to it on Spotify. You couldn't. Yeah. So what's going on with with the state of the world right now, with what's going on with fucking politics and wars? How do you keep yourself positive and sane in this midst of fucking, I mean, you see what's happening in the world, bro.
It's hard to deal with. putting my heart out there to people. Really, if you are dealing with some stuff, we're all fighters in some sense. Like, we fight in a cage, and other people fight every day for their life. Like, just more power to you. I just hope everybody's out there being safe, man. The world's a crazy place right now, and it's full of a lot of divisive. Things going out
it
there
seems
right
like
now.
it's purposely trying to split us up, whether it be with sexuality, religion, war, whatever.
Yeah,
it's
politics, the
yeah,
works,
politics
dude.
is the.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think about? Like, well, here's an off-the-cuff question that I maybe want your opinion on. Bud Light has now become the official sponsor for the UFC. With all the controversy that's gone on with Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch losing billions of dollars because of all of their transgender ideology, what do you think about? Do you think people are going to give a fuck about that?
Man, it's so hard to say. I don't know.
Do you give a fuck about that?
I don't give a damn. Dude. I don't drink Bud Light.
Neither do I. It tastes like cat piss.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I like good beer.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know about any of that. I did see this hilarious meme. I don't know if you saw it going around the internet. It was this formerly gay guy was in this church, and he's saying, "I'm not gay no more," and just kind of going off. And they had the Bud Light logo all over him, saying that was them signing with the UFC. It was great.
Wow.
It was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Well, look, I just figured, like, I mean, look, I think Bud Light made a mistake. They've been punished for it. They lost billions of dollars. And, you know, as Dana said, look at the good that they've done, all the money they've donated. You know, they buy American products. So, guys, it's not that big of a deal. Fucking
really
just
not.
forget it
Yeah.
and let it go. So what do you think of the state of the divisions in the UFC? Is there anyone that you that really has caught your eye right now? Have you seen the Pirate? Have you seen him? The guy with the one eye?
Oh yeah. What's his
Scary
name?
looking guy. I
cannot
think
think of his
he's
name.
another Nurmagomedov, or
Yeah.
he's another Magomedov.
He's another Ed off something.
He's another Ed off.
Yeah.
No, I've seen him, and he made his debut performance in the UFC. He did really well.
Yeah.
Is there any guys that, like, you look at and think, fuck, this guy's great? Like, do you think the Humsart train is slowly getting derailed after his last performance?
It's hard to say. I know he hurt his hand, but like.
Oh, that's right. He broke his hand.
Yeah, he broke his hand in the first round, which slowed things down because he had a great first round. Might have been a 10-8 against.
Yeah, well, that's what I heard.
Against the short notice welterweight. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
12 days notice off the couch.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I think he's great. He's definitely got. If you watch him train, he does some just crazy stuff. He's got great accolades with his own wrestling and everything. So, yeah, he's something special. I think. As far as coming up, who I was training with actually was the Boshrot brothers, both 35ers, both in my weight class.
Oh yeah.
Both those kids are very good. Javid and Fareed.
The black guys, right?
No. They're I think they're. Oh, where are they from now? It's like born Afghanistan, raised in London. Or
Oh,
something
okay.
like that.
No, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm
I'll put 'em-
mixing
Yeah,
up.
both undefeated. 14-0 and 13-0, something like that. Both very good. I've been getting some good work with them. I think they're both young enough that like they're going to be around for a bit. I think. Yeah, both those kids are good. Of course, Rosas Jr. Yeah, he's on.
I was there.
He's on the come
front
up.
row.
Yeah. Now, were you at UFC Noche?
Yeah, I was there. I was
uh-huh.
there, front row.
Yeah.
And I've never sat front row at a fight before. Never.
No,
well, when I
really.
say front row, I was like 3 rows back,
yeah,
but
but close
fucking
enough.
Nate was
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
and Gaethje was there, and every man and his dog was there. But
good on you.
It's a different experience watching it there. But I tell you what, I did like was watching the Contender Series at the Apex, being that close and not having the loud crowd and being able to hear it. Have you seen the power slap? And if you have, what do you think about it?
I can't get into.
Could
the power
you
slap,
do
dude.
that?
I feel like I take a really good shot. I don't know if I can. You know who I think really can is Davey Grant. You know Davey Grant? You ever seen Davey Grant from London? He's in the UFC. He's got, I call it the
Big
touch,
hands?
just the touch of death.
Yeah.
He comes down here and does his training camps with us and stuff. Man, if he hits you, you're in trouble. He hits hard and he could take a shot. And it's big hands. I think he'd be great. He'd be great for power slap.
Yeah. Oh, man, I watched it and it was just fascinating to me that, I mean, people don't realize that a slap can fucking knock you out.
Apparently, there's a bunch of knockouts in it too.
It's
right?
great knockouts.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man, great knockouts. Poor guys. Jeez.
No, right? Oh,
Monster.
I know. So everything. So as far as now that you've transitioned from the UFC, you went through a little bit of a tough spot,
Yep.
but it sounds like things are starting to turn around for you now. You've got your fights coming up. You still got your beautiful fiance. You guys been together. You got that fat little doggy of yours that snores really loud
Yeah,
and
I love
farts.
it.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, it's bad. But every night when he starts relaxing, You don't even hear it. You just smell it.
Oh, have you heard them yet though? When he gets a bit older, you'll start hearing them.
Dude, every time he barks, he farts. We call it barding. He just every time.
You call it barding?
Yeah, every time.
Does he have his own little following on social media now? That dog?
No, we couldn't do it. We couldn't do it.
No, I didn't. You couldn't get him his own Instagram.
Yeah. I already run too many Instagrams. I can't do another.
Oh, you do? You run a couple now?
Yeah. Well, there's mine. There's React workouts where I post a lot of the work because I create workouts on there too, so people can get a feel for it. Matter of fact, we're gonna do a Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury workout on there where it's just some of the combos that we're working for both of them.
Wow. So you're going to actually take combinations from fights and incorporate them into your app. That is a fucking good idea.
I think so, right?
I think that's a great idea. You could do something like, okay, we're going to show you exactly what these two fighters did in this sequence. And
here are the commands. Get out there and get it.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Isn't that cool?
It'd be good if you could do it, like if you could have some kind of AI where it was actually Tyson Fury's voice that was actually teaching you on the app. All right, then, come on.
Yeah. I wonder if I'd get sued for doing something like that.
It's fucking AI. Everybody does it now.
AI, oh, dude, you might be onto something. I like you, Marcus. I like it.
You see? I'm always fucking thinking.
Dude.
So what else, man?
Oh, man, just that's the big stuff. I'm coming off of, like I was saying, 2 wins now. I showed some jiu-jitsu and some wrestling, which I haven't showed in all of my UFC tenure for whatever reason, which I can do both. I just so comfy with the hands. Like, I never really felt like I needed, like I didn't have that. Well, the one time I did need it, I was worried about running into a knee against Chris Gutierrez. So I was like, maybe not right now.
Yeah. So do you think that, did you enjoy putting the
Oh yeah,
incorporating you.
I think that's one of my strong suits. I think I do some stuff that a lot of people don't do with my jiu-jitsu, and it's like I think I have a very unique style, and I think I'm gonna give people a lot of problems. And I'm taking this time away from the UFC to go show that and work on that live, because doing things in the gym is one thing, putting them to work in like a live performance is entirely different.
Completely.
So I don't have the pressure of like the UFC payday that's forcing me not to make a mistake, so I get out there and go fight. And that's one thing I learned too since being released from the UFC. We can have the skills, we can put in all the hard work. If we don't show up and fight how we're supposed to fight, a lot of times things don't go our way.
Yeah. No, that's a good way of saying it. Do you think that is the UFC ever in your future again?
I like to think so. I still train, and I still that's still a goal. Like
how would that go about though? Like how would you rack up a certain amount of wins, and then do you apply to get in? Like how does it work?
So essentially, it's about the opportunity presented with us. Again, like I was saying earlier, it comes back to that and a great management. So I got a Iridium sports agency behind me, and if something comes up short notice, I think I put myself in a position where it's like, okay, we can bring this dude can do it. I've kept my weight low all year because of this. I've stayed in shape all year.
Yeah, you look in great shape.
Yeah, I feel great, man. I feel, like I was saying, I feel better than ever. I really have. And now more than ever, if the call comes, like I'm more than ready.
You'd be ready to go in there.
And I think I'm one of the only guys that like in Vegas that can make the weight on
short notice.
3 days.
What do you walk around at now?
Right now, like 150.
150?
Give or take a couple pounds. Depends.
You look
on
a
how
little
much
bigger to what I'd normally see.
Yeah.
Like muscular wise, have you been working on your physique?
I've been working on that a little bit.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've noticed has changed. Is you look a little more muscular than I saw you last time.
It's a nice tight white shirt too. So
yeah, the tight white shirts are always good. I got to wear the black ones because I got fucking gyno on this tit real bad.
That makes
so
sense.
that's what happens when you take testosterone when you're my age.
I get you as a Adesanya. Like I'm just kidding.
Can you? I know. It just happens with age, I think, and fucking because I took a shitload of juice when I was younger. Mind you, I'm 53 now.
Are you 53?
Yeah.
Oh man, look great for 53. I see you. Yeah, good.
But I have the maturity brain of like someone your age. What are you now? 29?
I'm 33. I'll be 33 in a week. Birthday's next Sunday. Yeah, I tend to not tell everybody, I feel way younger than that. And I think I feel younger now than I did a few years ago. I don't know, maybe stop drinking helped.
Oh, you stopped?
I didn't stop completely, but like last year I think I was abusing it just a little bit.
Every day?
Not every day, but 3 times a week roughly. Just like it's a hard training session.
Lightweight.
But 2 of those days were pretty rough.
No, I feel you. No, the alcohol definitely changes the brain.
Yeah.
Stopping alcohol definitely changes the brain. Mate, I you were one of the first, when I first started podcasting about 3 years ago, you were one of the first guys that I ever talked to after meeting you in the gym, and you were so nice to me, and we chatted on Zoom. I believe you were getting ready for a training camp with your cousin. You were in Idaho, wherever you were, you weren't in.
Is that COVID times? Was that?
I
when
think
COVID
it might
was
have been
going? I
around
think it was,
COVID,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a. Oh my god!
like
Yeah, I
fucking
was in
3
Idaho
years.
because that was the only place that wouldn't close us down for a gym.
Yeah.
So we were training there, and then I went to Portland to train for a bit, and then came here for a short notice fight against Chris Gutierrez.
Yep. So that's when I first talked to you. And then I had you in the old studio again. And then when I talked to Ed Cap the other day, and he's like, "What about?" I was like, "Oh, definitely Vince,
Yeah,
man.
my
I
dude.
definitely 100%." So I just wanted you to come in just for a bit of a catch up, check out the new studio, and just
Looks
to
great,
fucking
man.
say g'day.
Yeah.
And I'm back up and fucking running again. Had a bit of a shitty couple of years myself, but like anything, we're all fighters, like you said. Some
Fighters,
fight in the cage, some fight outside of the cage. What's your message of positivity to fucking people out there?
Man, I think I don't know if it's a positivity thing as much as it is a mindset thing that I think will do a lot of us much better going forward. There's a lot of victimhood that we put on ourselves, and I would prefer most of us to stay away from that. It's not about fault. It's about responsibility. It's our responsibility to handle things the best way we can going forward and grow from it accordingly.
I keep saying it. I got to write a book with all these great quotes that I get from these fighters because they resonate and they make so much sense. And I believe that the reason why these guys make so much sense is because their mindset is a little different to the civilian of you and I. Their mindset is a little stronger. Their direction of where they want to go is a little more developed than civilians like us because we're not in the fight game. We don't have to use our mind strategically and powerfully because the mind in your game, it's one of the number one.
It means everything.
It means everything, right?
100%. Like I was saying, like you can have all the skills and all the work, but if you don't go into that fight with the fight mindset, and that's more than just winning and losing. That's going in there to fight. The victory takes care of itself. That's the result, right? You get in there with the right mindset and you can fight. Like that's 90% of the work, and 90% of the time, I believe you'll come out on top.
Fighters are just so mature for their age, eh?
Thank you. I try.
No, they are. They are. You guys are. Like I say it all the time that you're the 1%ers of people that are just like unlike any other people that I speak to as far as how powerful your minds are and just how together and mature you guys are.
Oh, well, thank you.
So I love that. Bro, thanks for popping in. We just wanted to do a quick one today. This is fucking good. So don't forget, Vince has got a podcast. It's called
Just Cuz Podcast.
Just Cause Podcast.
Cuz is CUZ, like cousin.
Oh, Just Cause Podcast, bro.
Yeah.
So you can find it on Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on iTunes, and also on YouTube as well if you want to get the visual. We've got the app, which we're going to put all the we're going to put the links to that in the description. Vince Morales, I'm fucking happy for you, brother. I'm fucking glad everything's going well, and I just look forward. Now, how can we see your fight?
I believe Risen is on Fight.tv.
Fight.tv.
Right?
Yep. That's the one.
That's what it's
on Triller.
called. So yeah, that'll be on there. It's December 31st, so it's the New Year's card, which is a giant card over there. Yeah, it's gonna be.
Are
great.
you gonna fight before? So it'll be before 12 o'clock, before the New Year, or how does it?
I don't know.
Are you New Year's Eve?
Yeah, December 31st. That'll be New Year's Eve.
Yep.
So that might be the 30th for you guys here, just because the time difference.
Anyway, look on your iPhone. Look on your iPhone. It'll tell you exactly what to do.
Follow me on Instagram. I'll make sure I put it out on there.
Okay,
for you.
there's Vince's Instagram underneath his name right there as my fantastic, handsome, elegant engineer at the back pops. And look how quick he did it. I didn't even have to say anything.
He said, oh, look at me. Yeah.
No, you're handsome as well, brother. Hey, thanks for coming in.
Cheers, Marcus. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Guys, today's episode, once again, was proudly sponsored by Riz Pharma, rizpharma.com. Forget about going to the doctor. Forget about those embarrassing appointments. Forget about spending shitloads of money. It's all done from the privacy of your own home with our fantastic doctors that will give you a consultation online, prescribe you your medicine, take out the middleman. Rizpharma.com. Proud sponsors of the Marcus Deegan Show. This is Marcus Deegan with Vince Morales. We're out.